We call on the lawful establishment investigative agencies of state, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and the Criminal Investigation Department, CID of Ghana Police, to investigate the activities of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. These bodies must search all his houses, probe any properties acquired in his stay so far in government, and if possible, prosecute him for failure to show the source of huge sums of money found in his possession, out of which he gleefully sprayed some around. And we all saw the video. We all saw the video and how he counted the dollars as if it was a counting machine. Very, very fast. And afterwards, and you could saw where he even picked the money from. You could see that, yes, you have a lot of it stacked in there. And then how he gleefully was counting the money to Madam Agradaa. And then Madam Agradaa, also out of insufficient spirit, grabbed all.
Into Agradaa years kano. Free Sammy Gyamfi, that is the rest of the amount. The rest of the amount now we are free hono. My police in Chino or call back for the money.
Abuja NPP for a press conference concerning Sammy Gyamfi any Agradaa dollar issue ni ho. Now press conference ni mu no omo issue where the be e de Agradaa busua ano odre. Omo se Agradaa kuta insufficient spirit. Kere said whatever Agradaa bia na ni nso insufficient spirit. Enti that insufficient spirit no a eti Agradaa mu no ono na enam so a emasika Sammy Gyamfi de ma Agradaa nani anso ana cheso hwim ni nyina ade free eye Sammy Gyamfi nsem na enei omo din koma ka kire eye president se eye so otimi sake Sammy Gyamfi cause the way I will see counting sika no counting machine kure si bank current min kan size kana na Sammy Gyamfi kan no it means say ne nchen ho de do so pu pa mo na na kire se esi wonom said the ma Mrs. Radapa ensem ba ya Sammy Gyamfi eji tu mo chenchira atwan kan ye no enei wono bi ana kire se atono no enti omo de omo so omo putu eyeye wura President John Dramani Mahama on text na omo ahwe se enei obetimi aye bold said the enei or the code of aye conduct bi ba bontene say na point is no lifestyle ne manema bi wono mo say omo abolish ne manema bi no ono bi na enei Sammy Gyamfi akwakoyi na according to omo de omo si video mu hu ye no na kire se dollars no Sammy Gyamfi spray ni say ya o spray was spread it was spread it any Agradaa so nsa kan ye no any me na imagine NDC fu me ni Agradaa o woman power that is so no so huru NDC force that is dollar no de eta ho do so pose pan ono nam so amenei my king hello my club abontene abeka asem bia kire Sammy Gyamfi say seniema nyina akoda aye so otimi me achi Agradaa aye so otimi chi Agradaa na die nti na nei matu ase Sammy Gyamfi anko chi Agradaa ena matu so yobi o ka Agradaa asem a na Agradaa dwa efiri se woni Agradaa from enkoko to so tuom to enei weja junction Agradaa secret information nyina ekuta no abusuya AHINTASEM TV subscribe, like, share na comment so na fama yen sha se enfan free NPP for press conference here enei omaba beye omo send message to yenyina president John Dramani Mahama say sa Sammy Gyamfi dollar issue no omo putu no on test no ma hwade say obesake no anase won sake no e video nimra.
And the president must, in accordance with section 6 of his pledge at page 9 of the code, deal swiftly and decisively with Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. It's important. The president launched this code. As I mentioned earlier, it was well publicized. It received a lot of commendation from so many people. Now, a week or just less than a week, this happens where his own appointee is seen displaying opulence. We find ourselves in a very distressed situation. And yet, if you have on your appointee who is doling out dollars. That is serious. And we call on the president, if the president is unable to act on this matter, then the code of conduct must be shredded. It's of no use. It's useless. If the president is unable to act on this matter, ladies and gentlemen, the irony of the present circumstance is that not only was Mr. Sammy Gyamfi a loud critic of Honorable Cecilia Dapaah for some months ago, but he was equally very critical of her ladyship, Justice Tokuno, few weeks ago because the judicial service paid for tickets in dollars, although this was the required currency transaction in such matters and also well situated within the travel policy of the judicial service. We say without fear of contradiction that in the absence of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi providing direct evidence of the source of funding, thousands of United States dollars found in his car, seen in the video widely are proceeds of unlawful or criminal enterprise by Mr. Sammy Gyamfi. Section 1 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Act 1044, makes the possession, concealment, conversion, disguise, or transfer that is or forms part of an unlawful activity an offense punishable by a term of imprisonment or up to 10 years. Do not forget that this is the same section, the same provision Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, the same provision he used in criticizing Madam Cecilia Dapaah, and he says that it was clear. This is the same provision. We call on the lawful establishment investigative agencies of state, the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Criminal Investigation Department, CID of Ghana Police, to investigate the activities of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi in his short tenure as acting chief executive officer. And again, you have been told that all appointees, including ministers, they have not even received their salary since they had the appointment. All of them. That is the information we have. To investigate the activities of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi in a short tenure as acting chief executive officer of both PMMMC and the Ghana Gold Board. These bodies must search all his houses, probe any properties acquired in his stay so far in government, and if possible, prosecute him for failure to show the source of huge sums of money found in his possession, out of which he gleefully sprayed some around. And we all saw the video. We all saw the video and how he counted the dollars as if it was a counting machine. Very, very fast. And afterwards, and you could see where he even picked the money from. You could see that, yes, you have a lot of it stacked in there. And then how he gleefully was counting the money to Madam Agradaa, and then Madam Agradaa also, out of insufficient spirit, grabbed all. Obviously, saw that there were a lot of dollars stacked in there. So that is how come she could again grab all the dollars. And this is a serious matter. We note that section 55(2) of Act 1044 stipulates that in a trial for an offense under the Act, an accused person, in this case, Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, may be presumed to have unlawfully acquired a property if the accused person is in possession of a property which the accused person cannot account for, and which is disproportionate to a known source of income of the accused person. Note that he has not taken any salary since his appointment. So clearly, the money he doled out obviously is disproportionate to his income. We also call on the president to immediately interdict Mr. Sammy Gyamfi as an acting chief executive officer of Ghana Gold Board. Or at least, he should interdict him pending the conduct of the investigation by the criminal investigative authorities of the state. We cannot but remember when huge sums of money, and this is the principle here, please let's pay attention. We cannot but remember that when huge sums of money was reported to have been stolen from the residence of Madam Cecilia Dapaah, a woman who had worked in high places for over 40 years before the incident, had been NP since 2001, as well as a deputy minister and also a minister. And she is married to a well-known rich architect and a consultant, well-known, with nearly 60 years experience in the profession. She was made to resign. This principle is cardinal. Under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, a similar issue happened. Madam Cecilia Dapaah was made to resign immediately by the president. Investigations were duly conducted by the OSP against Madam Cecilia Dapaah and her husband. After what the OSP described as 7 months of extensive investigation and 4 months of collaborative investigation, it concluded that their investigation did not establish any evidence of corruption, corruption-related offenses, or procurement breaches against the suspect. We require the same standard to be applied here. Same standard to be applied here. And let me also say that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi again is on record on several TV programs during the Madam Cecilia Dapaah saga, and I quote him, "Once money is found in your custody and you cannot account for the money, and that money is disproportionate to your income, you shall be deemed to have committed the offense of money laundering." Madam Cecilia Dapaah resigned during the whole brouhaha, as I said, and again we require the same principle to be applied. Again, on the matter of Her Ladyship Chief Justice Tokuno, in an interview with Asempa FM Okosisen, he stated that the Chief Justice should be sacked for using state funds in dollars in her medium of exchange instead of the Ghana cedis, which is exactly the same act he engaged in last Saturday. Per his own assertions, then it means he must be sacked. That is exactly what he said. And these are principles. And this is his own sword. And he must be on his own sword. Even more ironical is the fact that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi presently heads the Gold Board. This is very important matter, and this is issue of governance, which is being touted by this government as being the backbone for the stabilization of the city through the maintenance of sufficient gold reserves. Do not forget that the establishment of the Gold Board, one of the arguments for the establishment of the Gold Board was to centralize all businesses, all dealings regarding gold, to stabilize the city. This argument was made widely. If Mr. Gyamfi, the CEO who is responsible for maintaining sufficient reserves to support, to help, and to prevent the depreciation of the cedi, to stabilize the cedi, possesses dollars in his daily routine. And we say daily routine because when you go for a funeral 1 week and you have dollars packed in your car, then the indications are that that is your modus operandi in terms of spending. That is how you spend. That is the money you use. Because if you are just going for 1 week and you have tens of thousands of dollars in your car. Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, again, then clearly he has no confidence in our city. And if you are superintending over an institution which, as part of its mandate, is to help stabilize the city, that is the only legal tender, and I've already mentioned that. And if you have the head who superintends over this institution doling out dollars instead of the city, then it means that the person or the CEO, acting CEO, lacks confidence in the Ghanaian city. And that is key. And that is the more reason why we are of the view, the New Patriotic Party, and I speak for the party, we are of the view that if he is unable to stand firm, if he is unable to defend the city, if he is unable to protect the city, and he will rather be displaying dollars, then it means he cannot superintend over the same institution seeking to stabilize the city with gold reserves. But let me also state on record that under the gold purchasing program of the New Patriotic Party, our gold reserves as a country, which stood at 8.7 tons, for the last 40 to 50 years, grew to about 30.53 tons as at the fourth quarter of 2024. This program is one of the major reasons why we are seeing the appreciation of the city. Again, yesterday, the minority in parliament also had a press conference where they also mentioned the allowances, the salaries of Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, referencing the minority press conference yesterday. The state cannot be paying Mr. Gyamfi hefty salaries and allowances for him to be undermining the very currency which is at the heart of his mandate. The state provides the following for Mr. Gyamfi: a gross basic salary annually 1.5 million, subject to an annual review and upward adjustment of 15%. 1.5 million a year. Hold on, that is not the only amount. Hold on. Let's go step by step. Hold on. Clothing allowance of 15% of annual salary, payable once per annum by year end. So the 15 million I just mentioned, he is entitled to clothing allowance of 15% of his annual salary. So he's entitled to 15% of 1.5 million, which is supposed to be his clothing allowance. Hold on. Travel with me. Hold on. Provision of 2 security officers or 6,000 each officer as an equivalent. 1 gardener or 4,000 Ghana cedis as a cash equivalent. Full medical cover for him, his spouse, and up to 5 children. Provision of 2 cars with full maintenance and insurance. Fuel allocation of 1,005 liters of fuel monthly. Fuel allocation. Do your own mathematics. 1,005 liters of fuel monthly for each official vehicle. The official vehicle may be sold to Mr. Gyamfi upon contract expiration or termination per the company's asset disposal policy. 30 working days of paid vacation annually. 30 working days of paid vacation annually. Exclusive of public holidays. So anywhere in the world, if he decides to go to Bahamas, if he decides to go to wherever, if he decides to go there, the state is responsible to pay fully all the expenses for this vacation. Airfare up to $10,000 upon proof of per diem. Per diem of USD $2,000 a day. So if he travels for 30 days, it means he's going to receive $2,000 a day. For 7 days, payable in advance for annual familiarization tour. Business class travel tickets for official duties and $2,000 per diem per day of travel. Annual performance bonus subject to set targets and in accordance to the company's bonus policy. An unspecified CEO-related benefit shall be paid at the prevailing CEO's rate plus 20%. Personal accident and life insurance cover valued at 5 times the CEO's annual salary.
Natural Sabuya, Utia Omudia, and Mary. Omashada, Quajit, Sammy, and Fear Juma, Chesawaye, allowances, Awaji, and in issue allowances, and Indian allowances in Yana, Omale Sinina, Ayade, Eddie Guanum, Abusha Jabra, Duah, Daje. First video, and Wahano, Savajino Ho. The from every Ramu, our Mark 2, as well as someone, and they were back at the Agradaa, and a yes, Sammy, for 6 years. Agradaa far so sika every Sammy Gyamfi seven ono no eye krono allegedly eye krono e na Agradaa abono na se ogi ade free obi ensem e wa abre nipa krono emfiri ni mu se wo de mawoa ekoga na mremu a eye krono enti se bibia ekoda eye se saade no a Agradaa ye no Sammy Gyamfi etimi mayede ebiache no na Agradaa ye obi e wo guni ho ni mu ate papa said the Agradaa abon ho nsafonyene ena kire so yodefo ene adeade na enei wo kosre petrol sika na uni sika o de beto petrol wo so tuka e de koyie as samatwoma for bodyguard for e de ediwachi sa wo kura so no uni petrol sika na Agradaa ye obi a allegedly na ni brisika ofiri so ba wiase hu bi da na abra na otu so tuom no o de 100 Ghana cedi 50 Ghana cedi kokura Agradaa beje Agradaa nim se 50 cedi ya kai de enipa na de faka oboa o de entrekese azan ene na ada allegedly bi abeje sika de firi nsem obadwun ho tire se onti ase ensem amanfo ka se Agradaa Sammy Gyamfi sika no and I have problem to Ghanaians and the NDC and company the grassroots for no or no be any name of two so eka any wa expose you a grassroots papa I was in a video no Emra
Agradaa catch there be say ono de we sika ni wode ne ho ono dollars or cedis or ne keka ho nyina enti eye ne mugu ase kese kra de ma Agradaa so be catch Ghana for say okosre fuel e wo Sammy Gyamfi ho Agradaa weni magu ase se Agradaa wo be ka kire Ghana for say okosre fuel e wo Sammy Gyamfi ho weni mu na gu ase anya fuel bia na okosre ho medical ka kire Ghana for say Agradaa o man 1 Ghana cedi kura obeje nti bra na wo so tuom ho na wo bu nkrofo no be the 500 Ghana cedis ko oje obi de 1000 Ghana cedis ko awoje obi di 1 billion cedis ko a oje 200 Ghana cedis ko ade ko Agradaa age. Into some of us, it did not put us into surprise when this incident happened. And it's any before us about Sammy Gyamfi home. Agradaa sama o kan say or the obo daima NDC for na hwan was some party no. Also party wo kwan bezo. So also party a obetimi akoka kire party I can say flag bearer edinatem edene yere edinatem aka kire Ghana fo nyina se wa beto abama agogo ketekete nyamentua aka na se Ghana fo ni bi to abama agogo ketekete e ma agogo ketekete president flag bearer be president na wuhia na appointee a okose no hosika woni mu na gu ase na baby America say Agradaa wie a Sammy Gyamfi ni say wo hwe video no critically a Sammy Gyamfi willingly gave a certain amount to Agradaa. So we have video na wo. So we share ebra mu wura aka anim no. Ene bra wo behu say Sammy Gyamfi kan sika na. O kan mako 16. But we share video na before say we behu say wo kan no. No we dey kan be say 5 kwadada. E ya kire me say sika no so a ekita Sammy Gyamfi no. $50, $20 low na say small denominations in terms of a dollar, $20, $50 no. Enye common say ye kosesa. $100. And so it tells me say Sammy Gyamfi's dollars na get ni nyina no. $100 denomination. And that's $100 denomination. Enti ne ene all kind no. Me kan a o de wo hwe video no a or kind of before so be say Sammy Gyamfi kind no. No or kind be that but video no turn so no. O kan ya unye 16 or 17. So mo anhoye ha or kind 16 or 17. It is ordinary or di kan en cracker ho a. Oh ma Sammy Gyamfi ma Agradaa ezika. Oh man $800. Ebeye $1,000, $2,000. And I say be $1,005, $500. And conquer 800 and I be 1,002. No. It will share 10 or kind na or kind $20. I can't simple $2,000. $2,000. And Agradaa, if she must can be free, Sammy Gyamfi or so now, but now the name of my man, they made the family, and no human kind of car. A honor, Agradaa, yes, canon. When a bra will fa oji will be at the offer will be at the unlawfully. On my acquaintance of Fano. Ghana Mremre Chrono. Agradaa ball Sammy Gyamfi Chrono. New day card the man on the one and the man a gift. But the rest of the money na kita Sammy Gyamfi no. Agradaa stole the money from Sammy Gyamfi. Into a baby a own. Sammy Gyamfi asama aba enti ankrofo ma ne backlash na na mana aboto. Enkete sa Sammy Gyamfi should immediately call back the money. Particularly the rest of the dollars na Agradaa wiaye no. No sama police chi Agradaa. Because one fat the rest of the money na ma no. Enti ohwim free ni nsem no oye basa. But at a point who says Sammy Gyamfi could not react at that time. Enti Agradaa wiaye sika no. Free Sammy Gyamfi, that is the rest of the amount. Go back and watch the video carefully. You could see say the rest of the money held by Sammy Gyamfi no, was unlawfully taken by Agradaa, which is crime. And stealing. Now what Agradaa also was sika bebre which is sika. Which ya Sammy Gyamfi sebe. Sammy Gyamfi esukonoma. Agradaa also you have a lot of properties. Which ya Sammy Gyamfi kwakwaje when I say so my $800 you okwaji $800 as fuel. When you go as Agradaa when you go as Sammy Gyamfi kono wo so your wari ni a wo kun di nchen. Sammy Gyamfi so your wari ni papa bi. Wo don sa ato ne sisi bo so no. Agradaa hu when you go as eye ni wo na Agradaa de yesa o aba be video akogye na so dem kasa woman what the party no a flag bearer at that time at him. Abo Mudia. Now she an appointee, party no a president, you know. Flag bearer and the president will be appointed, who she appointed the alcohol says no. No, who says cow on what amount to know the man. Once I be catch a gun for say $800. Everybody should go back and watch the video and see when the money was being counted. You know. Saying Sammy Gyamfi can and I catch you say Ghana $50, $20 no. And said that you come on a trade unless special case power we here smaller or small denomination and a best amount $100. I got that him is kind of crown. Usheni ya $100. Now his kind of crowd, I was on a papa Becca Jagana for say $800. I got that and Troy or the papa. I got a woman of Guasi. Who? Sammy Gyamfi, we be a we are. What the no de can the man no CSA $800 for channel. The rest of the amount now we are through hono. My police in channel or call back for the money. Sammy Gyamfi, you should immediately call back for the rest of the money. One farm ma Agradaa and we are through chain. Are you chrono? Everybody should go back and watch the video. Na ne meka nyina no beti ase. Maka kire musa Agradaa yobonsam munim. Na nye wanim na wani na enwu ade Agradaa. Ne ode NDC for fast no akohia Sammy Gyamfi a. Na o se me koka ma se chere pa ne chew. Opa chew pa. Ade na nkotran TV no so na radio social media so na mpa chew. Ho na koka asem no. Kopa chew aso dem ho. Sammy Gyamfi na kopa president a chew. O fa no so pa president a chew no. O sebe in quote Sammy Gyamfi for your wine. Our kopa ono na chew than the president and the kind of simple the first lady now did that time. Send a guy ko tira wa so dem na so call social media and akopa chewa. Definitely president obehu obeti. Wa ba na why your very greedy woman. Be no so any. Me say Agradaa ho ne ya wotonton sa azan oil ne azanku ene ne hwan no. What the ones the call crop beje fu nsem. Na Ghana for no maso ye dentia. Wa ba bonten wo say amount $800. Everybody should go back and watch the video. The rest of the amount was not really given to Agradaa. Uwiaye. Ghana ha emrane say one fa ade ya wo dia. One nya ntuma amfa ma obi no nipa ne de ne pe efa wa wia ekro no. Agradaa de ne pe ene hwi musika ne free Sammy Gyamfi nsem the rest of the dollars na ne kura Sammy Gyamfi no. O se won abo na o de ne nyina ma me na ye den. O na abo fa ne nyina ma me hwim ene o hwim ye. E ba choba so anu a share page ni dia ma me. Odama share page ni ma na nkwachi tag obi a tag Agradaa akra ka ho. Tag Agradaa ka ho. Ne ma me stars. Cheme stars kakra. Agradaa ede ne tumi. Ene wie sika no ba bonten which is gonna we say a woman power. When I got you say oh Agradaa power was say when him na wa kaji na ma Sammy Gyamfi e this kind of ono Sammy Gyamfi na so ni panti na say oh this guy kokoma Agradaa. Enipa anya na Sammy Gyamfi nipa anya na. O party food example food soldiers wo ho. Needy people e wo ho. In your statement to go about say that out oya doye e de ma omo ni bi. Na da oya doye de ma omo ni bi Agradaa woni bi. Agradaa yo bia woni ska. Na akwa ko $1 de ama no. Sammy Gyamfi ade che no o che ye no. Enya ha o che ade na ye na so ba multimedia we ba na enkrofo omo from home food soldiers ni si ya college bebre gu multimedia. Sammy Gyamfi ba otimi choma de o che muska. The last time about multimedia or Chomiska, there wasn't any news about it because I don't know about Akobabi or Wachiska. But Sikana watching $100. That raises a lot of questions. Sikana watching $8. Oh my CDB and gave you a guy a man 2,000 B. So the tofu, the car get down 2,000 bit for the tank. Near the $2 you now walking kind dollar. I'm where we be or who went to me and carry. I got that years can be wo Sammy Gyamfi one country because the rest of the amount na kakita no na nya wo pe so de ma Agradaa wie free ho me enchi Agradaa you should call back for the money. Sammy Gyamfi, call back for the rest of the money. Even at all, the all the share in Zakras what they are channel crown. So some are not just getting their free no. Cause Ghana for any so near you know. Why a papa, sa papa with a papa bonnet. Papa side the enemy guasia bro. Papa side or how bro. Sammy Gyamfi a papa bonnet. Sammy Gyamfi is one of the persons me from day one. Me hear how he is very accolative. Na me penasem keke Ghana for no yakwara me mpesa asem me mpesa metesa asem no se nyame adom obi nyansa na osusu yakwara enti ontimi nche na adwen no che na adwen dia then you are using his age against him. No, I don't like that. Me wo UCC French any very simple mathematics na me ba na class 6 and na che me French na UCC na branch bi wo friend no Sammy ono no oye staff ho na me ma na kire me mass e na ba ko bi friend no Michael and I be say me referee this Sammy ana o ba ko bi so sa me chia na bia me friend me teacher no share me mass and so now oye me junior e wo UCC. It doesn't matter because me gidi ni say nyansa nyankopon fa mo pani ko de man kwara was me de tumi ahye enkokoa ene nkwada num na wo wonya sika was me de akoma Agradaa. The big mistake I hear any Agradaa or the Agradaa factor raises the backlash or the backlashes. The Agradaa factor and the dollar factor. I think you've learned your lesson, Sammy Gyamfi. It may be a Sammy Gyamfi. Sammy Gyamfi is one of the persons I'm a penasem senior or kasa. Now we are very bold. Nenyansa with the trim. Jidebiamo kutiana no yakwara me buofu keke. I don't want to hear yakwara into that person cannot hold the position or yakwara that into be any open. No. Into the yakwara factor, I don't support it when people were using that against him. Oyakwara any this pose in a position man Oyakwara saying look at the changes he's making, which is fantastic. But the fact that say we call $1 che edi amobi no ni bi no so call Agradaa, that is the very big mistake. Ti ma memra nchen na me mfi ho di machi na tie ni and then still on Agradaa can there be a kind or kase Sammy Gyamfi man $800 oboah ye nyina ye hwe bi akenkan. Go back to the video we will be answer the comment mra say wo de wo hwe video no now say Sammy Gyamfi kan isika na hwe say obe kan do saying. And I have told you say dollar no $50 $20 na nye common wa ha yense sana sa $100 na oyi isika na o ye pra woman power no ubehu say $100. Agradaa ya trofo on kanokre asemba o hu okwa ofaso a okasa ema nokre bi ebese entro bi bese nokre sa na otie intino obuapa eye damage control no man tro ababe ye nokre. So if you are not smart obeje ne o Kennedy enso no boa o yes smart oboa on kanokre eso hu Sammy Gyamfi no na okobu nkotodwe beche be bia na nkotodwe wo onko na akohu ade be Agradaa beche be bia okobu nkotodwe ye hu okobu nkotodwe se Sammy Gyamfi nyoday Sammy Gyamfi o ye NDC a flag bearer and a party chairman. We hwim sika we wie sika won nsem Agradaa we wie sika was Sammy Gyamfi. The rest of the amount was not given to Agradaa. When you say, "Oh, now about the nyina ma me anaye dey," eno hwim ye. But for Sammy Gyamfi to have met Agradaa and giving her money, no opachre. Edien no opachre. Edien obi ema for say Agradaa chame Sammy Gyamfi. Oni hu Agradaa ni aduro bia eya ho hyehyɛ bɔne na ye no. Agradaa oni aduro bia oni chame bia eya ho hyehyɛ bɔne na ye no. ɛna Sammy Gyamfi na koye ne ho hwehwɛ anim ɛma ne koyi dollar man Agradaa ni aduro bia. And of course at that time I felt say Sammy Gyamfi wanted to prove say oni ne ho tan bia. But it is a mistake on the part of Sammy Gyamfi. Because if you are dealing with Agradaa and you are not careful, there will be watum. Agradaa me see we ehu when you guase. Say after the old says sika e dey atofu. A person of your caliber, you claim say you have worth, you have properties. You are meeting Sammy Gyamfi, begging for fuel. Mishia na me say o ma me fuel. Ushia Sammy Gyamfi na ko je fuel. When you guase Agradaa be je fuel ni bi mema bi. When you guase o says fuel e dey. Me ya 1 gallon bi an be brɛ wo. Ni mu guase nipa. Enti Sammy Gyamfi Agradaa sikanen kaya na kura won se benkum no wan fa ma Agradaa wo wakoma mu Agradaa wiaye Agradaa sika no uwie afiri Sammy Gyamfi sem eye kro no obi owie ade bi ade mo medase fa so so mane emre mu no ade bia obi amfa ne pema amfa ama won no wo de wo pe fa wa wia emfa won se eye me yiri sika me fa na man kan kye na mabokro no emfa won se eye me basika me fa na man kan kye na mabokro no enye se me sika da ho na me ba fa wa mo me amane ma man fa ma na ma no me consent my approval wo ye kromfo sika ye de amount wa ma obi wa kan we a wo kan sika na obi ehun se eburu $800 me se wo de obi amfa ne comment na na de wa kan sika no kokhe video no they counting no, how it went on and see if it was $800 na Agradaa kanana on kanokre Agradaa kanokre
abutia mamen kanfo Goldberry and Construction Limited enye de enfamau se opedan ayeden ato ultramodern eye building pan ne opato se eye 2 bedroom 3 bedroom 4 bedrooms eye apartment in ne yiwo pato ko eye Goldberry and Construction Limited honum omo ultramodern finished 2 bedroom 3 bedroom 4 bedrooms apartment wo abusuya kire se omo eye de eton anase ne ope asase esoso na ato abusuya omo betimi edi wonim akoto eye asase ewo Ghana ha mantam biara rigi biara na omo asase no nkoto man so no enya asase a dachi bi obenya eye manso bia eye de ewo ho se omo nya asase so ma na opese omo edina so na omo akasa so esidan no e de mawa from eye architectural drawing plan to a dynasty to finishing bibia omobetimi ayede aboa ayede ho say ne oye asore ana oye company awo asase nyantam ho ene ne pese already sasade be ya daachi bi ohini bi ntimi magin free munsem wa Goldberry and Construction Limited ebetimi already said that particular land no so ayede e de amam say de wa chase wonya asase ne bi o contractor na de ne so building materials ene hawa Goldberry and Construction Limited betima provide bi e de amam say ya iron rods cement roofing sheet e de na wo abusuya omunya bi na omo emfama from no best no egu screen so no na eno omudi nkomo 020 70 36 710